Is Mr. Migley here? M-I-D-G-L-E-Y. Pronounced it wrong. Next we'll have Christine Taylor and then Rhonda Bouchon.
Good morning. My name's Christine Taylor, and I'm the owner of Indie Hemp Works. I'm here to provide testimony in opposition to SMJ 101 and SCR 112. I'm here today to address the matter of ignorance and lack of respect for the serious ecological and economical remedies cannabis plants could provide as crops to our great state of Idaho. I have written to a few of you regarding the issue and have been auto-responded with information that is offensively out of date and biased without principle. It is even more offending that many sick and trusting people are at the mercy of elected officials that will choose to use propaganda as a scapegoat and false educator for policies such as these. It is devastating that the elected officials representing the people of my home state would choose to blatantly disregard the truths that study after study after study have shown the cannabis plants, including marijuana and hemp, to be irrefutable in their benefits to society. It is appalling to rationalize the act of criminalizing free people for choosing to utilize a gift of God to this ecological system. The proposed policies stand in the way of freedom, progress, innovation, welfare, and prosperity to the people of this state. It terrorizes me that Idaho's elected officials pander to the profits and freedoms of products such as guns, cigarettes, and gasoline, which are products that cause bodily harm, poison our airways, and diminish individual health at the choice of the consumer. Of course. And at the same time, stand in the way of one of the world's most ecological resources known as cannabis. Innovation is not comfortable, but it is necessary for growth and prosperity. Idaho has been home to many brave innovators in its time. Please join that roster of historical heroes by derailing policies like these and writing new policies that work with the ecological tools that have been given to us. As a native Idahoan, I have founded a business on the principle that ecology is economy, because I know that without ecology, there is no economy. I'll stand for questions.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Great, thank you for your testimony. Rhonda Bouchon and then Derek Atkinson. Is Rhonda here? Derek Atkinson with it. Atchison, thank you. And if I mispronounce your names, please say it when you come to the podium so we get it correct for our record. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman, other committee members. I come to you today. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't use it because I do believe that it is a medical therapeutic medicine. I want to tell you a story. This last Christmas Eve, I usually go to a Christmas party with my family, a bunch of cowboys, go have a good time. I was talking to my little 12-year-old cousin. She wants to be a doctor when she grows up. She has arthritis. I didn't know that until Christmas Eve. I found out Christmas Day that she has 3 years left to live because the medication that she's taking is killing her. She was in the emergency room last year for over 6 months. She had 16 stomach ulcers because of the medication that is prescribed by doctors to her. It's killing her. I believe that cannabis can help with her pain. It can make her eat. She's 12 years old. She weighs 63 pounds. She's dying. I know that the young ones, they're against it. I mean, that's good to be for something, but it's her future too. She should be allowed to live it. She shouldn't have to die at 15. And that's why I'm here to fight for. So that's really all I have.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Other questions from the committee members? Oh, thank you for your testimony. We'll hear from Peyton Rabholz, R-E-B-H-O-L-Z, and then after that, Darren Hurst.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peyton Rabholz. I am 17 years old, and I am involved in Drug-Free Idaho and Idaho Drug-Free Youth. I am the oldest of 3 boys, and I am a junior at Idaho Distance Education Academy, an online charter school. I believe that marijuana should not be legalized in Idaho. I believe this because marijuana has many side effects that affect the body permanently. We don't need another thing to impair drivers, and we don't need to make it more accessible for the youth. THC, the drug in marijuana, stays in your body for 3 to 12 weeks. This is weeks that your body is being affected by this drug. This gives THC more than enough time to go to the heart, enter your blood, and go to the brain. THC attacks the parts of the brain that control movement and memory. THC produces more dopamine that enters these parts of the brain. The brain can only handle so much dopamine before it starts to come up with ways to block it. This hinders the development of the brain. Marijuana also affects a person's lungs. Someone who smokes 3 times a day is just as likely, if not more likely, to develop lung cancer as someone who smokes a pack of cigarettes a day. When you inhale the smoke of a cigarette, you hold it in your lungs for about 2 seconds. That is all the time it takes for nicotine to enter your body. When you inhale the smoke from marijuana, you have to hold it for 5 to 10 seconds in order for the drug to enter your body. That is 3 seconds more that the smoke and chemicals are in your lungs. Even though people are smoking less marijuana, they are still doing the same amount of damage to their bodies. Idaho does not need another thing to impair drivers. We just passed a no texting while driving law. You have spent a lot of money on DUI prevention and texting prevention campaigns. Now we are going to have to spend more money on another prevention campaign. Marijuana is already an issue for the youth of Idaho, along with tobacco, alcohol, and prescription drugs. Why make it more accessible? Thank you for listening to what I have to say today. I do not think that Idaho should legalize marijuana. Marijuana causes too many health problems, puts more dangers on the road, and is too easy for youth to get a hold of. As a 17-year-old, I do not have the right to vote, but I would hope that you would make the responsible decision for saying no for me. I will stand for questions.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your testimony. We have Darren Hurst and then Rachel Rao.
Good morning, Chairman McKenzie, members of the committee. My name is Officer Darren Hurst. I'm a member of the Meridian Police Department. My current assignment is as a school resource officer for Meridian High School. We've heard a lot of things today in regards to the youth, so I'm going to talk about the youth. Okay, as a school resource officer, I deal with the youth directly on a daily basis. I deal with them in just walking through the halls or when they're coming to my office when something is wrong. An underlying factor that I see when it comes to dealing with youth that have problems in school, problems in the community, and problems with breaking the law is drugs. We talk about regulation of marijuana, making it legal and regulating it. Vicodin, Oxycontin, Soma, antidepressant medications, other things that affect the body are also regulated. But yet I am seeing those more and more prevalently in my schools and other schools around our valley, to the point where it's becoming epidemic as well. How do we think we're going to control marijuana if we make it legal? All we're going to do is create more of an environment for these people to get into the hands of our youth. Right? And when I see a correlation with drug use and dropout rates in my school, it is firsthand. I sit in my school, I talk to my administrators, I talk to my teachers. More often than not, when I talk to a kid who's getting ready to drop out of school, trying to keep them in school, or I see a kid who's going into our community and committing numerous burglaries, not only residential but vehicle or commercial, or they're doing things such as damaging other people's property, there's an underlying factor of drug involvement. When they're breaking into cars, they're not breaking into cars to steal things for their own use. They're breaking into cars to steal things to sell so they can afford to buy drugs from other people. This I know. I've been a SRO for 5 years. Prior to that, I spent 10 years with the California Highway Patrol before moving up here. I have an extreme history in DUI enforcement, very similar to Corporal Handcuff. And I can tell you that in the 1,500 or more career arrests I've made for DUI, drugs have been a factor in a large percentage of that. Marijuana being a large factor in those drug arrests. I was in California when they initially legalized it the first time for medicinal use, and I saw the spike in fatality crashes. I was involved in many of those investigations. I'm here to tell you that legalizing this drug is just going to create more of an environment for our students and the people in our society to use this in ways that it should not be used for, period. There is a legal form of THC. It is called Marinol, and it is synthetically made in a lab for people to use if they're having the problems that they are facing. There are other drugs out there that counteract pain in the body, and those drugs are readily available, almost to the point where they're too readily available. Like I said, I'm seeing more and more drug use in my schools, and it's not just marijuana, it's other drugs that are as harmful. Thank you very much for your time, and I stand for questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Rachel Rao and then William Espenson.
Change glasses here. Chairman McKenzie and members of the committee. My name is Rachel Rowie. I'm here in opposition to both bills. I live in Canyon County, and both Senator McKenzie and Senator Lodge were my senators at one time, but now I'm in District 12. As a former member of the workforce, I was a petroleum engineer for the IRS in Washington, D.C., auditing the top oil and gas companies' deductions and credits relating to oil and gas. Since 2003, I've been on disability. I have lupus, fibromyalgia, and about 15 other medical codes that I won't divulge here. I consume 25 prescriptions of about 61 pills a day. Medical marijuana or cannabis would eliminate at least 15 of those and is less toxic than most of the 25. My mother and brother that live in Montana both have lupus and fibromyalgia also. I have a story of my cousin who has been on disability since she was 28 due to a botched hysterectomy. She's had many surgeries across the U.S. to correct the adhesions that grow around her organs. She is in so much pain every day that she can't get out of bed or just lays on the couch. Fortunately, she does live in Montana. When medical marijuana became legal in Montana, her doctor asked her if she would like to try it. It gives her more pain relief with less negative side effects than anything else that she's ever tried. Since then, her brother and nephew started a medical marijuana growing business, and everything that they grow, they sell to a distributor. My 85-year-old aunt makes a tincture out of the medical marijuana that my cousin uses a drop at a time throughout the day. Now she can at least attend water aerobic classes. She is off all her narcotic medications. Please give those of us with medical problems that medical marijuana could help a chance. Stamp SMJ 101 and SCR 112 with a do not pass. I stand for any questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Other questions? Any questions? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
William Espenson. And then after that, Sam Lyon.
Thank you, Chairman and committee members. Thanks for having us all here. It's obviously a pretty touchy subject with everybody. I did print out some facts for you guys to look at on cannabis. If a page could take those up to you guys, make sure you guys get them. The fact is 18 states have medical marijuana right now, and their citizens approved it. And it wasn't because they wear tie-dyes or have goatees and beards and drive Volkswagen buses. It's because there's science out there that proves that cannabis is blowing up cancer. And when I say science, I'm talking schools like Harvard, Berkeley, schools around the world that are studying cannabis, and it's blowing cancer up. I'm sure there's at least one of you up there that know somebody, or may be yourself, has had cancer. So the science is there, and that's what I'm here today, is for the facts and the science. I'm pretty sure none of you guys are doctors. We did have one doctor testify here today. The science is there's a lot of doctors and a lot of studies that are done that any of you can go look at and see what this plant is doing for people. The fact is there's 10 states with legislation this year to get it legalized in their state. Another fact is Washington, D.C., Obama signed it himself into law for medical marijuana. What's trying to happen here is to close that door on the fact that it's helping people with not only cancer, lupus, Crohn's disease, PTSD. Our soldiers are killing themselves on a higher rate than ever. They've found doctors, not hippies, but doctors, and I have studies and proof, you guys can go look them up. They have found that it's helping PTSD. Wouldn't you want to save a veteran's life that is over there saving our lives? Why would we close this door to science that's curing cancer and doing all kinds of neat stuff in the medical community? Why would we close that door? We have marijuana laws now. They protect the state and its citizens to a certain point of what you guys think is protection. We need to say no on this. We need to let science prevail. The studies are there. The facts are there. You could sit here and I could mention doctors' names by the tons. They're out there. The studies are out there. When you say Harvard and Berkeley, you don't think of stupid people. I don't. They're very highly smart people, and they're medical schools. Marijuana is endorsed. Cannabis is endorsed by the American Medical Association, the American Nurses Association, VA, and a ton of others. To have a committee come in here and close the door on a medicine that is showing a promising future for a lot of different ailments, to me, is archaic. Thank you. I'll stand for questions.
Thank you.